All right, guys. Welcome to the Husker postgame, last one of the year. We'll probably let a few more people get in here. Then we'll break it down, talk a little bit, and go from there. Hope everyone's having a good Saturday here, or Friday. Actually, my bad. Feels like Saturday. All right. So, Huskers with another tough one-score loss, setting the college football record for one-score losses in a season today. Just brutal, man. They had it, right? 21-6. And really, we just needed to get that punt off. I think he just needed to get that off, even if it wasn't the best punt. But even Frost said it in the post game. That punt, that blocked punt, that was kind of the game, right? And there's always something like that. And then from there, you had the blocked punt, you had the Smothers fumble, you had the safety. And I mean, even after all of that, you're still in the game. But then, you get the ball at the end, trying to go score. And I saw some stat that the Huskers are like 0 for 14 on their last drives where they need to score, which is just incredibly terrible. So yeah, I thought they had it today. Smothers had a really nice first half, and then they just sputtered in the second half. It was just really rough to watch. I don't know why they go away from some of the things that are working really well. I guess I don't know if the defense makes the adjustments and takes those things away, which is probably part of it. But those deep throws to Toure, those crossing routes, some of those nice sneak aways to Allen that pick up yardage for him. It's just tough. So I don't know. At this point, I think Nebraska looks a lot different next year. Without talking too much about this game, at this point, I think everyone saw what happened. Another game they should have won. I guess before we talk about next year, maybe we could think about some of the highlights of today. Obviously, Toure and Ty Robinson had a good game. I thought Cam Taylor played well. We made our points after. I thought that the red zone offense was decent. I mean, they scored touchdowns, right? But just another game that they should have won, and we keep saying that. So, at some point, are you actually close? I mean, we talk about being close. So, at some point, are you actually close? And I don't really know. Your guess is as good as mine. I don't really know, because none of these games are turning into wins. I mean, you talk about 3-9, but even worse in my eyes is the conference record. I mean, being 1-8, one win in conference play. I mean, how can you not get lucky? How can you not get lucky a couple times and just win one of them besides Northwestern? It befuddles me sometimes how unlucky, cursed, at times poorly coached, poorly executing of the basics, punting, special teams, just the basics, man. It's rough. So I don't know. It's going to be another long off season. I don't want to really talk about, a lot of expectations next year, but a lot of people think that Frost needs to win 7 or 8 games next year, and I think he should, right? But also, I think number 6, and if he wins 6 games, he's probably going to stay, and it's going to make a lot of people mad that he should win 7 or 8 wins. I mean, a lot of people are going to say 8 or he should be gone. I don't know. I think that if he wins 6 games, he stays. But at the same time, could you not also see him winning? Could you not also see this exact same season happening next year? I mean, what's going to change? In my eyes, you got to get a really solid play caller in. You got to have consistency at quarterback, and you got to figure out the offensive line. Until they do those things, then I don't know if they can even find 6 wins next year. So I'm going to go to the chat here. There's not a lot going on. But yeah, I guess now you're just thinking about next year, and you have to sit around and watch the bowl games. I think that the roster is going to look a lot different again. I don't know what's going to happen at running back. I know a lot of people want Martinez to stay. I talk with Zach Reeder on here every week. He's not able to make it today. I think he was at the game. Zach wants Adrian back. I don't necessarily not want him back, but I don't think he's coming back next year. I thought Smothers looked okay today. I guess, you got to cut him a little slack. He hasn't played much. I think some of the plays in the pocket, he looked a little uncomfortable. I think the potential's there. They got to surround him with some better protection, but I don't know if Smothers is the answer next year. I think he has the potential to be. Maybe get somebody in there working with him. I think no matter what, Nebraska should go into the transfer portal and bring in a high caliber, high experience guy that's going to push for the number one spot. You can't afford not to. You can't afford not to. At this point, it's going to be make it or break it next year for Frost. Yeah, Spark Adventures. I don't know. You don't have the answer, and I don't. And I don't have a ton of insider info. I don't talk to the coaches. I'm an avid fan, just like a lot of you guys. I try to watch the games with an open perspective. I really try to enjoy college football. Nebraska football is by far and away my most passionate following in any sport. But it's hard to continue to invest emotionally, even when you're up 21-6 and that win percentage is so high for you. It's just so hard to continue to invest emotionally in these games, knowing that they find these ways to just kill themselves, man. I mean, and we got 3 wins. I mean, today's loss meant nothing, right? As far as the season goes, it really didn't mean anything. But man, how nice would it have felt to just freaking beat Iowa? Sure, you don't go to a bowl game, but you beat Iowa. You get to carry the trophy off the field. I hate seeing Ferentz happy. Like, oh God, so annoying, man. So again, guys, I try to follow with an open perspective and try to stay as positive as I can about Husker football, because there's really nothing that I can change. And as I continue to watch, I've realized that more. There's nothing that I can say or do that's going to change the outcome of the game. And at the end of the day, the players do want to win the most. But there's no other fan base that's going to pack a stadium like we do, stay till the end of these games like we do for a 3-win team. I watch Pac-12 teams, UCLA, USC, ranked Pac-12 teams, and their stadium 5 minutes before kickoff looks like a Class B high school game. I mean, so at some point, I mean, as a fan, we demand these high standards because, we uphold the high standards to ourselves, right? We support through the thick and thin, and it's just been a lot thicker, right? It's just been rough, man. But what do you do? So I'm gonna look in the chat here again. I don't really have a co-host here, so I'm just kind of winging some things. Yeah, unbelievable how the team imploded in the fourth quarter, man. You look at the fourth quarter stat line. What was it like? I think we were outscored 19-0 in the fourth quarter. I mean, and some of those field goals, 3 of them right through the hands. And that's 9 points. I can't believe he didn't grab a couple of those. That Caleb Tanner one, man, he had that thing. Just grab that thing, run it back. See what Martinez was a starter, not impressed with Smothers. Yeah, I don't. It's really hard for me to judge Smothers in one game. I don't know how limited the playbook was for him, but I thought he did pretty good. But you see other teams, Big 10 teams, Big 12 teams, that when this backup quarterback gets a shot, man, some of these guys, they come in and they're rolling, and they're showing why they shouldn't be the backup quarterback, and they're winning games. And I don't know if that's, if that's development, if that's practice, if that's a lack of consistency at that coaching position. I don't know. I really don't. But I do know that I watch other football teams, college football teams, and the backup quarterback is really good, and he can get it done. I think that there needs to be some major changes at quarterback next year, expectation-wise, right? Not just, hey, this guy, we're comfortable with this guy. If he's not getting it done, if we're not winning games, then go to the next guy. If he's going to transfer, then he transfers. Like, enough of this. Enough of it. And hopefully Frost has had enough of it, man, because he's got one more year. And if he keeps dancing around, not finding a quarterback competition and just going with the guys that he's comfortable with, then it's just not going to work out. And I really don't want that. I want Frost to be successful. I'm glad he's here next year. I think it's the right move. I think that they're onto something. And I think I would be left wondering if he was not here next year. I think I would always be left wondering what could have been, especially with next year's schedule. What could have been? And if we have to suffer through another 3 or 4 win-loss next year, then all right. Well, then good. In my mind, I don't have to think about it anymore. He's gone. So I'm happy Frost is back next year. I think he needs to do a little soul searching and figure out offensively who's going to get it done and how the hell they're going to get it done. Nebraska fans are not fair weather fans. No, they're not. It's fair weather here in Arizona right now, which is nice. It always makes it so much nicer when we lose games and I can just hang out here. It looked really nice in Lincoln today, which is crazy though. It's almost December and it looked really nice. I saw some guys with their shirts off in Memorial today. They were getting after it. So that's fun. It looked like a great game. Looked like a great game to be at. How fun would it have been if they could have won, man? Who else glad the season's over? I mean, I am. I am, because I don't want to have to suffer through these games anymore, right? But at the same time, I really love looking forward to Nebraska football games. It's one of my favorite things. I love watching with family, friends, and I really look forward to it. But at the same time, I'm kind of over the this emotional roller coaster at this point. So, let's be done. See what we can do next year. I don't know. And I've never had so many friends that are not Nebraska fans, and I have a lot of friends and clients out here in Arizona that they text me after the game and they see me the next day at work, and clients, coworkers, and I don't get shit from anyone anymore. Nobody talks shit to me about, and pardon my my cussing, but nobody talks crap to me about Nebraska football, because they know like, they watch and they see these scores and they see the replays and they hear the national media talking about us, and we lose by 1 score every week to ranked teams constantly. And It's just constantly people texting me like, oh, man, how did that happen? What happened? And I used to break it down for him. Hey, this happened. There was a safety, this block blunt. And that's what happens every week. That's what happens every week. So I don't want to be redundant and keep going on with this. I'm going to look at the comments a little bit more here. And if you guys got anything to say, let me know. I'd love to answer any of your questions that you might have. Athletes still want to go to Nebraska. They want to go SEC. Yeah, I mean, recruiting. Where does recruiting go right now? I really think they gotta dive into the transfer portal head first. They gotta go all out on that, man. That's where it's got to be. I don't even care where the guy's from. If he can play, come on over. How many defensive guys were out? Oh man, Tommy, great point. I wanted to bring that up. Tommy Green, great point, dude. The defense today, we were missing, a couple of those key guys. I mean, obviously Doman, right? You miss him so much, dude. Such an animal. I'm gonna miss him, dude. And then the big one, literally, was Damian Daniels, number 93, our run stuffer. And Iowa's getting some really good yardage, and they're going to run the ball well, right? They're going to run the ball well, but they were consistently getting some pretty good 7-8 yard carries on first down, and you got to think that Damian maybe stuffs a couple more of those. So we were definitely missing those guys. That showed. There was one third down. It was, and by the way, Nebraska, the defense came up with so many 3rd and 8, 12, 3rd and 15. There was a 3rd and 18. You got to get off the field on those. You got to get off on a couple of them, or create a sack, man. There was a 3rd and I think it was 8. It was a long 3rd down, and they converted on a nice slant over the middle, but the linebacker, Heinrich, just terrible angle. I'm not sure what he saw there, but he went shooting directly north-south at that guy. And if he just takes an angle, he blows him up. And he either catches it or fumbles it, or he probably doesn't catch it. 100% doesn't make the first down marker. And it's just those little details that you just, man, you had it. Those interceptions in and out of the hands 3 times, you had it. So frustrating. Yeah, when is Scott Frost's next restructured contract coming? I don't know, dude. I think it's next year. It's a big if next year. So I don't know. Anyways, guys, I don't know. I really appreciate you guys jumping on here this year. There's going to be more of this. If you don't follow Mark Rogers, the voice of college football, he's constantly grinding on YouTube and Twitter. Go follow him, subscribe to him if you're a college football fan, if you're a Nebraska fan. He does a great job of unbiased takes over the landscape of college football. I really appreciate him having me on here and working with me. It's been enjoyable. It's been frustrating, but it's been enjoyable being on here. So we'll definitely do this more. We'll see what next year brings, but we'll continue to do this. So follow me on Husker Hype. If you ever got any questions on Twitter, I love talking to fellow fans. So just shoot me a DM. I love to chat Husker football. You guys have a great rest of your weekend, Thanksgiving weekend with family, friends. Enjoy some big games tomorrow. You got the game, the Ohio State, Michigan game tomorrow. So enjoy that. Let's go Big Red forever, though. Bye, guys.